is DYDC-FM 104.7, your Development Campus Radio. Broadcasting from the beautiful campus of the Visayas State University, Vizca, Paipay City, Leyte, Philippines.
VSU Radio, DYDC. Are you ready to celebrate a century plus two? It is the VSU 102nd founding anniversary. We are kicking things off on April 13 with a vibrant lineup you won't want to miss. Join us at 2 p.m. for the formal opening of the Flower and Garden Show at the Lower Campus Garden, where nature blooms in full color.
At 3 p.m. on April 14, immerse yourself in creativity at the Art Fair opening at Balay Alumni. The celebration continues with innovation and excellence at the Aban Tecnología Forum 2026 on April 15 to 16 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the RDA Hall.
Mark your calendars for a night of timeless OPM hits as Orange and Lemons take the stage on April 21 at the VSU Gym at 8 p.m. Don't miss it.
On April 24, it's a full day of fun and celebration featuring the Farmers Kids Day, Young Farmers Day at the Animal Science area from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Experience skill and passion at the Livestock Challenge from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Animal Science area.
And cheer for your favorites at the VSU Singing Star Grand Finals at 7 p.m. in the VSU Gym. Finally, on April 27, rise early and be part of the grand highlight of Farmers and Fisher Folks Day at the VSU Gymnatorium. Join us as we celebrate excellence at the VSU 102nd founding anniversary.
Experience inspiring performances, unforgettable moments, and the pride of our VSU community. Only here on DYDC FM 104.7, your Development Campus Radio.
Ako si Pros Ivy G. Yepes, VSU President. Para nako, DYDC gyud ko. Ikaw sabha, Radio Kalambuan gyud na.
The fastest,
substantial,
fun, and educational.
delivering news and information to connect with you via listas.
from the VSU main campus
And from all around the Philippines.
Giving updates to you, our avid listeners.
A program to amplify your voices.
This is
What's Up High School, leading a future with you. Only here at VSU DYDC 104.7.
Good day, students of VSU Laboratory High School. Welcome to another exciting segment of What's Up High School, your go-to radio program for all things school spirit. Today's hashtag is hashtag high school research. That's what we'll be talking about in this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to all avid listeners of DYDC 104.7, proudly brought to you by the Visayas State University Laboratory High School, under the Faculty of Teacher Education. What's Up High School? I am Niel Cayubit, your anchor on What's Up High School. Today is April 23, 2026, and you're tuned in to DYDC 104.7, your Development Campus Radio. For this episode, we're diving into the topic, experiences of high school students in doing research. So stay with me as we explore and discuss this exciting topic. Once again, good afternoon everyone. Today's topic focuses on something that many of our high school students are currently navigating or will soon experience. By the way, at the Visayas State University Laboratory High School, our students are actually taking their break because the fourth quarter or the school year 2025-2026 just ended. And classes will resume in June of this year for the next level or for their next level. Now, doing research, that's what our topic is all about. So technically, this is the second session about similar topic, research in high school. As a mathematics and research teacher, I've seen firsthand how a research journey can be both challenging and rewarding. From choosing a topic to writing a proposal, students encounter various obstacles, but they also discover strategies, support systems, and personal strengths along the way. In today's discussion, we'll hear directly from students about their experiences, the challenges they faced, the support that helped them succeed, and the advice they can share with future research students. Okay, so for our listeners, hopefully there are students who are listening right now. This is really a relevant topic for all of you, though I know that you're having your best time because it's already your break. Maybe some of you are traveling and having vacation within the country or within the region, or some who can afford to. Some are already traveling outside. I've heard students traveling in Japan, in Singapore, and Hong Kong. So sana all. Okay? Now, time check, it's 1:06 p.m. and you're still listening to DYDC 104.7 FM, your development campus radio on What's Up High School. So remember, if you have comments, greetings, or questions about today's topic, comment them down on the VSU DYDC Facebook page. We are currently live and we'll be reading your responses later on. Again, our topic for today is experiences of high school students in doing research. Now, general idea, sa VSU Laboratory High School, we do have two research subjects. We have Research 1. For Research 1, it's all about crafting a research proposal. Okay? So, basically, the students taking Research 1, currently, or in the last school year, we have grade 8 and grade 9 students taking Research 1. So, what they did was they write their research proposal starting with Chapter 1, the introduction of the research, and then Chapter 2, which is review of related literature, and then Chapter 3, the methodology. And then that's not only the exciting part about taking Research 1, because during the fourth quarter or the last quarter, which by the way, next school year, it will be the third trimester, since we will be adopting 3 trimesters or 3 section for the entire school year. Then, as I was saying, the most exciting part is actually presenting the research proposal in front of panelists. And the panelists for the research proposal are actually researchers, engineers, professors, scientists from the VSU system. So, for example, for grade 8, in their proposal defense, we invited Engineer Fail Sinon and Ma'am Sarah Suganob, who are actually right now on her study leave and studying in Japan. So, hello, Ma'am and Sir. I hope you are listening, or if you happen to listen, it was nice having you last time. And as a researcher teacher myself, I am glad that we are tackling this. It is very, again, relevant to our high school students who will be taking their research subject next school year. So that was Research 1. Next school year, students who took Research 1 the previous school year will have to take Research 2. So for Research 2, students, especially if their research proposal was successful, or they have been approved with the title that they had presented, then they can proceed with conducting the research in Research 2. So technically, they will have to write their Chapters 4, which is results and discussion, and then Chapter 5, which is for recommendations and conclusion. Okay, so let's check our Facebook Live. Okay, so we currently have 7 online, watching our live video right now at VSU DYDC 104.7 Facebook page. So thank you so much for listening. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down, and I will be reading them later on. Now, for this topic, experiences of high school students in doing research, what I actually did was I have sent out questions to our students who recently experienced writing their research proposal. Now, the following questions were asked. First, what challenges did you encounter while writing your research proposal? Second, what factors or support systems help you complete your proposal? And lastly, especially this is important for the students who will take Research 1 next school year, what tip and advice would you give the students who will be taking Research 1 next school year? So I will be reading the responses, and also while I read the responses, I will be discussing some important or the most important parts of the responses that we're able to get from our students. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and check the responses that we have here. So we have from grade 8 student. Now, this is to answer question number 1. What challenges do you encounter while writing your research proposal? So we have here, while writing our research proposal, one challenge I experienced was organizing our ideas and understanding what to put in each part. Sometimes it was confusing, especially when we weren't sure if our topic was good or relevant. Another challenge was managing time because we also had other schoolwork to do. What helped me was my group mates because we helped each other and shared ideas. Our research advisor also guided us and gave suggestions to improve our work. We also used the internet and examples to understand how to make our proposal better. So this answer is really good. So there are a lot of points that we can discuss from this answer. So for example, the student said organizing. So they found they had experienced difficulty in organizing the idea because it's true, when you do research, you will have to deal with loads of information, and this information can be overwhelming. For example, first part, you want to look for a specific research problem or title that you can work with. But again, when you look for online, there's so many that you can that you have to read and that you can do, or maybe you don't do your online searching. You have you think of idea on what topic you can discuss. So let's say just brainstorming, maybe by yourself or with your group mates if you have group mates. So your thoughts could be overwhelming you. You might be swimming in a different idea. So it's important to organize, really. And of course, this student also mentioned that they have to think of a topic that is good or a topic that is relevant. Of course, as research teacher, we always tell our students, so before you come up or decide on the topic or title that you want to work with, be sure that this topic is good and relevant. When you say good, it is practical, it is feasible at your level. If you're high school, of course, this is high school research, so you have to consider that the topic that you have, you can do it, meaning it's within your scope and within your limitation. And also, check for topics that are relevant. So we have to come up with topics that are new, recent. For example, you might want to solve problems that are recurring or problems that are very timely, so that you can really stick to it later on when writing the rest of the proposal. Okay, so another point that this student shared is managing time. Of course, since these are students, and when you say high school students, especially in the Visayas State University Laboratory High School, they have different subjects per school year. So try to imagine having 10 to, for example, the most subjects that we have, 12 subjects for a certain level, grade I think 9. So imagine having those subjects on top of the research. So you really have to want to plan how you can manage your time so that you can also spare time for doing research. Now, good thing about research in VSU LHS is that we allow them to do research. For example, if they want to do it individually, they can do it individually. And if they want to work with group mates, they can also do that. Okay, so advantage of doing it individually is that you will not have to consider other people's or your peers or your classmates' time. So you can just, whenever you want to do research, then you can do it without waiting for your group mates. But when you want, if you do research with group mates, I think one of the advantages is that there are more brains to do the job or to do the task, right? So for example, if you're working with group mates, you can divide the labor. For example, you can assign, okay, for let's say one group will do the statement of the problem, then another would be for the scope and limitation, one will do the rationale or the main introduction, or the stating the gaps in the literature. So that's one of the advantages of doing research by group. Okay, so also the student mentioned about research advisor. Yes, student researchers at the laboratory high school, they are allowed to have research advisor, and also it's very nice because the research advisors that they have are actually professors and instructors and researchers from Visayas State University, which these people are equipped and competent when it comes to actually doing research because they are researchers. Okay, so another answer, internet. So they of course, within students, every student, I know, they have their own phones. Just one click away, you can look for ideas. You can even ask like search engine, or let's say for example, if you're familiar with artificial intelligence, AI, you can ask AI, what topic can I select, or what topic can I have or choose for my research proposal. So that's one answer. So we still have lots of answer here, and we'll proceed with the next one. So this is a response from grade 9 student, which will be who will be turning grade 10 in the coming school year. So I struggled with choosing topic and organizing ideas, but my teacher, classmates, and online resources helped me finish my proposal. Okay, so that's good. Then we also have another answer from grade 8 student. Some group members were inattentive. So this is now like this advantage of having to do research with a group, because you can't expect everyone to participate, but of course that's something that you can discuss or deal with along the process. So some members gave low effort, and this forced the student to do parts or manage most of the work. And the student said that he or she struggled with narrowing the topic and finding factual sources. So here are the things that help the student push through with the proposal. 1, clear guidance from research advisor. 2nd, support from relatives who have experience in research. 3rd, online journals and Google Scholar. And 4th, time management and setting personal deadlines. Of course, diba? So if you student, you have a family member, maybe your parents or your siblings, they have experience in doing research, you can always tap them and ask, "Oy, ma or pa or kuya, ate, how can I do this, or how can I write my research proposal?" It's an advantage for you. Second, of course, we have online resources. For example, Google Scholar. It comes handy when you have a specific question, or for example, you want to do your literature review. Google Scholar, it's really helpful. Just type in the keywords, and then all the relevant topics will come out, and then you can sort it to the most recent one, or you can filter it to a specific place. For example, you want to do a review focusing on research in the Philippines, so you can also do that using Google Scholar. Okay. Next answer we have from another grade 8 student. They experienced challenges choosing a topic, organizing ideas, and finding reliable sources. Time management was also difficult as a group. But they were able to finish the proposal with the help of teamwork and online sources. Of course, diba, we do have an adage, teamwork makes the dream work. So if you're working with a team or group mates, use it to your advantage. Again, divide labor and always have constant and clear communication, clear expectation. That's very important. Then we have another response from grade 8 student. So medyo taas ng answer. We have firstly, finding an interesting and relevant topic was difficult since a lot of past studies have been conducted, so our topic may seem overused. Writing the RRL, we have to read a lot of studies that are related to our research. Though, some say the RRL is the easiest part of making the research, the large amount of reading materials make it difficult to write your own paraphrase version of the research you've read. Lastly, forming your own paragraph by narrowing down ideas and information. In doing that, you may misinterpret the idea from the study, and then you're basing on this may lead to an issue later on. So to answer the second part of the question, the student said, my group mates were a big help in order to complete the proposal. They helped properly divide the work and give ideas for what we could write. So also the student mentioned Sir Balana. Okay, Sir Ruel, shout out Sir. Sir Ruel is a research teacher at the VSU Laboratory High School. So Sir Ruel taught Research 1 last school year. Sir Ruel was also a great help to us by helping us correct what we did wrong in our paper. So we have online resources, help me understand how to format our papers and how to write them. Okay, so that was a long answer from one of the students, but let me pick points that weren't highlighted before, that weren't mentioned before. So we have here overused, diba? This is still about selecting your research topic. Of course, when for example, you have an idea, you will have to do search if this idea or certain topic has already been researched before. Because if the topic is, let's say, not necessarily outdated, but it is already well researched, then you might consider using or coming up with a new topic or research idea in mind. Okay? Then again, mentions Sir Ruel. So Sir Ruel or your research teacher will definitely help you craft your proposal. Of course, they teach you the concept, but it will be you to do the actual research. Now, let's have another response from our students. The main challenge I encountered was not knowing how to write a research proposal since it was our first time, and what helped us was our advisor's guidance and my parents' support. Okay, so yes, it's understandable that students may not have a background or really a blank slate when it comes to doing research. So wala sila idea, they don't know how to do research, they don't know the parts of the research, they don't know where and how to start. But again, that's okay because you have your teacher, your advisor, and the mentioned student, parent support. So if ever our parents are listening right now, so we also encourage you to check your students' work. It would really help them. And for example, you're not quite familiar with doing research, that's still okay. A simple encouragement will do. Okay, another response from a student. I encountered challenges such as finding reliable sources, organizing my ideas, managing my time, and writing the research proposal. And the student was able to complete it with the help of teachers' guidance and support from classmates and sources. Okay, so another answer that we do have here, I had difficulty narrowing down my ideas and ensuring that my research was clear, practical, and doable. Managing my time was also challenging. What helped me finish my proposal was the guidance of my teacher and the support of my friends. So the qualities of the high quality research characteristics na mentioned ni students. So we have clear, of course, when you do your research, it has to be clear, has to be specific. So it doesn't have to be like it has to be specific, not broad, not generic. So you have to filter it and box it so that you will not have difficulty in searching for previous studies related to the ones that you have chosen. Of course, you also have to make sure that it's practical. Will someone benefit from it? So you have to consider that one. And lastly, doable means feasible. And last answer here for this, the first two question, another student from grade 9. We have the challenges I have encountered is looking for references. Some support system that helped me is by using Google Scholar. Or if it is not in the internet, I would go to the library and try to find the topic. Or I would ask my advisor or advice from my advisor. Okay, so this is a good reminder for students. Please don't limit yourselves with using the internet. We still have a library. And at the Visayas State University Laboratory High School, we do have our own library. And in our library, hardbound research papers are there. So for example, all the students who took or finished Research 2, they had the hard copies or hardbound copies of their research in the library. So also, when I give my students activity or let's say I ask them to write their research, I always refer them to the library so that they can have an actual, for example, maybe format or idea or context on how to write the research. Now, listeners and students, that's the first half of our topic today, experiences of high school students in doing research. We will continue the discussion after a break.
Are you ready to celebrate a century plus two? It is the VSU 102nd Founding Anniversary. We are kicking things off on April 13 with a vibrant lineup you won't want to miss. Join us at 2 p.m. for the formal opening of the Flower and Garden Show at the Lower Campus Garden, where nature blooms in full color.
At 3 p.m. on April 14, immerse yourself in creativity at the art fair opening at Balay Alumni. The celebration continues with innovation and excellence at the Aban Teknolohiya Forum 2026 on April 15 to 16 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the RDA Hall.
Mark your calendars for a night of timeless OPM hits as Orange and Lemons take the stage on April 21 at the VSU Gym at 8 p.m. Don't miss it.
On April 24, it's a full day of fun and celebration featuring the Farmers Kids Day, Young Farmers Day at the Animal Science area from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Experience skill and passion at the Livestock Challenge from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Animal Science area.
And cheer for your favorites at the VSU Singing Star Grand Finals at 7 p.m. in the VSU Gym. Finally, on April 27, rise early and be part of the grand highlight of Farmers and Fisher Folks Day at the VSU Gymnatorium. Join us as we celebrate excellence at the VSU 102nd Founding Anniversary.
Experience inspiring performances, unforgettable moments, and the pride of our VSU community. Only here on DYDC FM 104.7, your development campus radio.
Ako si Rotasio Gravoso, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Para na ako, DYDC FM jud ko. Ikaw sa ba? Radyo Kalambuan gyud na.
Day. ikaw usa ka biktima sa gender-based harassment sama sa pagpanghasi sa kadalanan, online, trabahoan o eskwelahan, lakip na ang pagpanghipo, pagsitsit, pagpanginsulto ug uban pang malisyosong binuhatan. Hinumdumi nga aduna kay katungod sa pagreport niini sa hustong mga ahensya sama sa Gender and Development Office, Philippine National Police ug uban pa. Ayaw kahadlok ug ayaw paghilom. Protektado ka ubos sa Republic Act No. 11313 nga giila isip bawal bastos law o Safe Spaces Act. Ang mga mulapas ni ini magaatubang sa hustong silot subay sa gilatid sa maong balaod.
Kini nga pahinumdum hatod kaninyo sa DYDC FM 104.7, your development campus radio.
Ako si Aleli Bilisino, ang Vice President for Student Affairs and Services. Para nako, DYDC FM jud ko. Ikaw sa ba? Radyo Kalambuan jud na.
Time check, it's 1:30 p.m. and you're still tuned in to What's Up High School here on DYDC 104.7 FM. A quick reminder, stay updated with school events and announcements by checking the official VSU Laboratory High School page. Don't miss important updates and activities. I know recently there are parents asking about the results. Recently concluded interest examination for grade 7 students. So might I suggest follow our Facebook page, because once the results are out or the next steps for grade 7 qualifiers will be uploaded or will be posted in our Facebook page. That's VSU Laboratory High School Facebook page. Now let me check comments from our live video in Facebook. We have here one from Ma'am Annie Famela Rodriguez. Shout out, Ma'am Annie. Thank you so much for listening to our program, which is What's Up High School. So if you have any question, please type them down and I'll be very glad to accommodate and answer your questions. Once again, our topic this afternoon is all about experiences of high school students in doing research. Now, before the short break, we discussed about students' answer when they were asked about their experience, the challenges that they had encountered, and what also supported them or what helped them complete the research proposal. At this point, we will try to learn the experience of the students and also their answer to the question, what tip or advice would you give the students or to students who will be taking Research 1 next school year? Okay, so we have here the answers from the students. Now, I hope grade 7, 8 students are listening right now, because you will be taking Research 1. And still, though, maybe this is about research proposal, but the tips that we will be getting from your peers or your schoolmate can still be applied in Research 2 or in writing your final paper in research. Okay, so we have here the answers on the tips that they can give to other students. First, from a grade 8 student, the student said, choose a topic that you like so you won't get bored easily. Always listen to your teacher's advice and don't be afraid to ask questions if you don't understand something. Also, don't cram your work and try to finish tasks early. Work well with your group mates and make sure everyone is helping. Lastly, be patient, because research is not easy, but you will learn a lot from it. So this is a very good answer. Thank you for sharing. So ningon siya, choose a topic that you like. Of course, try to imagine you will be doing research in approximately 2 years. 1 year for the proposal, another year for the conduct of the experiment or the study. So really, it's important that your topic is personal to you, or that you like it, because if you like the topic, then it will sustain your interest. You can complete it. Okay? Then we also have one answer, listen to your teacher. Of course, it's very important your research teacher, or even other teachers, maybe teachers in math or science, in STEM, or other fields, really, English, Filipino, you can ask them. They do have their experiences, which they might be able to give you other advices, diba? Then do not be afraid to ask. This is very good advice. Of course, if you're not unsure, or if you are not knowledgeable enough, if you believe that you don't know anything about, or you know only too little about doing research, then ask. Diba? You can get the answers that you need when you ask the right questions, and of course when you ask the right questions to the right person or to the right people, which usually in high school that would be your teacher. Okay? And then she also mentioned be patient. Again, it will take your time. Sometimes other students, based on their shared story, they do their research at night. Sometimes they sleep late at night because of research. So just be patient with it. And whenever you find time writing or crafting or drafting, even like a single paragraph, a single page per day, that will really help you in the long run. Another answer here, we have use Google Scholar if you want to find links that are related to your research. There are also books in the library that can be used as reference in making your research. Yes, diba? This has been mentioned before. Google Scholar, online resources, and hardbound research paper. You can rely on them. You can count on them, especially journal articles about a certain topic that is directly related to the ones that you are interested in writing. Another answer here from one of the students: start early. Choose the topic you like, manage your time well, and don't be afraid to ask questions. So medyo similar sa previous answer, but I want to point out the phrase start early. Yeah, start early. Now, what I noticed with the high school students is that they are given an entire year for proposal, another year for doing chapters 4 and 5 or finishing the book. But most of the time, students do their research, let's say, in the final month, 1 month, or let's say less than 1 month before the proposal or the research defense, which is a no-no for doing research. So if you start, or the school year starts in June, then start working. Revisit your research in June, in July, or as early as possible. Also, another advice that I had given my students in Research 1 is that I had given them the option to do their research during the break. For example, break, or let's say school break, is 2 months or approximately 2 months. There's a lot of things that you can do in the 2 months. For example, if you don't want to conduct your study, maybe just check and improve the draft that you have for your manuscript. That's already a big points or a big move for you and your group mates. Or if you think and your advisor thinks that you are capable or that you can do the study, then do it by all means. For example, you have the resources, you have the necessary facility, then again, by all means, continue or start your research. So that when classes starts in June this year, you can already start analyzing your data, interpreting the results, writing the discussion and interpretation of your findings. Okay, so let's have another response from another student. So we have here advice for future research students. 1, naka-number yung responses. If possible, choose group mates to work with, and dapat daw dili pabigat. Okay, so murag the word pabigat is being mentioned. So I just want to address this one. Now, if your advisor or your research teacher is kind enough, you will be given the chance to pick your group mates or to work with certain group mates or classmates that you are comfortable with, or maybe your friends within your section. That's so nice. But some teachers, for example, me, actually I don't allow my students to select their group mates, because what happens is that if I allow my students to select their group mates, the tendency some students will be left behind, or they might not have any group mates at all, or maybe some students will not be selected or might have to do research individually, which will not be fair if we have research groups and then someone would do it individually, not unless that individual voluntarily said that, sir, I want to do research alone. So that's good. Okay? Then, the word pabigat, it's not so nice to the ear. So maybe just a reminder, group mates who are tedious, who are religious, who are, for example, hands-on, maybe you can discuss or talk with your group mates or give them tasks so that it doesn't seem like wala sila gibuhat, diba? So that they will not be labeled as pabigat. Or for example, what I usually hear about students who don't contribute, their only ambag is pancit canton. So hopefully that's not the case. So everyone should have his or her part in the research. Second, set clear roles early. Okay, so this address the first tip, diba? If you're working with groups, then distribute roles and responsibilities so that later on it will be easier to track. Hoy, kinsay wala nagbuhat sa ilahang research, who's doing their part and who's not doing their part, so that later on you can discuss how it can be addressed. And maybe really that group mate is having difficulty in continuing with the task, you can help them, not necessarily let them do nothing. That's not fair. Okay? Next, do not rely on one person. Oh, I think this is not really positive, but I'd say as a group, you have to have or build trust within your group mates, because again, you will have to do research in 2 years. It will be the same people doing the research, or you will be working with to do the research and complete the research. So maybe instead of thinking like individually, but you're in a group, try to collaborate. Okay? So maybe find time to discuss on things that interest you outside research. For example, bond with them, and maybe once you are friends already, you can continue with the research or be more serious with your research. Okay? Another thing that's mentioned here, start early and avoid cramming. Next, check sources carefully. Make sure your references are real. Okay, kane, this is important with the advent of artificial intelligence and AI being used in research. Sometimes, this is based on my search or based on experience. For example, because of curiosity, I tried prompting or asking AI, specifically ChatGPT, okay, write a review about this topic. And AI did not hesitate. In just few seconds, naka-generate na siya og review. Pero when I check on the references that was cited or that are cited, it's actually non-existent, which is a big no for doing research. It's unethical. Diba? And of course, my students know this. When I let them write their chapter 2, I read every single letter or word of that RRL, and I ensured, or I double-checked, and I made sure that the references are actually real. I use Google Scholar or references, or I check using the internet if this reference is real, especially if I doubt that this is true. Or for example, some parts of the paper, I know that it's not written by them. I check them. Where's your source? Where is this coming from? And verify or cite real authors or real journals. Okay, another tip here or another advice, ask your advisor. So if you have questions, ask your advisor so that you can revise your paper accordingly. And lastly, from this student, he mentioned if one of the member is not helping or working, then address it as early as possible. So do not wait until you can't kick them out of your group. Okay, so medyo ayaw i-kick out dahil nyo group mates. Of course, as I've mentioned, you have to build trust and connection and really work as a group, diba? Because if you have a mindset or a thinking that it should have been better if I did or I'm doing it alone, then you should have opted to doing research individually. But again, please, those who are with group mates, give your members a chance. Everyone deserves a chance, diba? Alright, so let's proceed with another response. Grade 8 student said, start early and don't procrastinate. Work well with your group, communicate clearly, and choose a topic everyone agrees on. Stay organized, follow instructions, and ask questions when needed. So, this was previously mentioned, like doing tasks later on, or cramming or procrastinating. This is your number one enemy in doing research, because for example, you say later na lang, onya na lang I still have 2 weeks to submit, or 2 weeks pang deadline, later na mga 1 week. Then pagabot sa 1 week, okay, maybe I'll do it a day before the submission. Okay, then later you found out, okay, at night before the submission, you realize, hala, wala pa man ko nakabuhat sa research nga task. Then the worst comes. Worst things follow. So you will have to have a sleepless night. You will have to cram, then go to school without sleep, diba? So everything else is affected because of procrastination. So if you have time, then use it in doing research. Kay most of the time, students nailay gamay free time. What they do is that they use their phone to play ML, or let's say social media, TikTok. I can see them in the hallway dancing TikTok, diba? I'm not saying that it's bad, but you regulate and you give emphasis on what really matters, especially your academic and subjects and your research. Okay? Next, ako na pong i-highlight that this student said, choose a topic everyone agrees. Yes, of course. Diba? So if research is done, or you're doing your research proposal and actual research within the group, then try to come up with a topic that everyone can agree. Okay? So if everyone agrees on this topic, then they can stick to it and they will not get bored, or they will be motivated to finish or to work in accomplishing the research task. Okay, let's read another response from one of the students. My tip for students who will be taking Research 1 this school year is that they don't take the distant deadline for granted. Exactly. The deadline is set so that they have enough time to read through their resources and create their paper. If taken for granted, they have to cram their work. Diba? So that's what I've said actually. Frequently making errors due to it. Of course, if you do your, for example, proposal, maybe in one night, please don't expect it to be perfect. Expect it to have lots of red ink when it is returned by your teacher or by your advisor. Because a quality research, you have to really put enough time and effort for it. Okay? Then, they don't. The student mentioned here. Okay, so another tip is to read their research thoroughly. They don't need to memorize their research, but they need to understand what they have written. Being familiar with your research is important, most especially during times where people ask you about your study. Yes, this is very nice. You have to read your research, read it again, you read it multiple times. This is what I actually do when I do research. I do research maybe twice a year because I'm doing my advanced studies. And what I do, it's very helpful when I check. For example, in the previous week, I have written an entire proposal. Then if I have free time at night, I reread it. Then I later found out that this has to be changed. Maybe, for example, the sample or the procedure is incorrect, or the tools, or for example, the rationale that I provided is not strong enough to really establish that there's a gap or that there's a need to conduct the study. So I always revisit what I have written. So I hope this is also a practice that students will do, especially those who are teaching research. So, na-mention ni student, you don't have to memorize. Of course, imagine memorizing 50 or let's say even 30 to 50 pages of paper. You will not be able to memorize that. It's difficult to memorize a page full of words or sentences. How much more an entire paper? But you just have to simply understand it. You have to own what you have written. It's not actually being able to memorize it word for word, but just ensure that when someone asks you, your teacher asks you, the panelist, when you're presenting it, asks you a question, you can answer it because you know it by heart. Okay? Then next year, we have, my advice is to avoid cramming, manage your time well, and never give up. Okay, so this is good, diba? Never give up. So if it's challenging, it's daunting, it's overwhelming, and you think that you can't do it, just don't give up. Maybe just a little push, then you can continue. Okay, so we have here a message from my previous classmate, Sir Assistant Professor Fernand Bernardes from UP Cebu. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening. Okay, so one of my classmates, my partner in math, 210.1, and we passed abstract algebra after INC. Okay, that's nice seeing your name, sir. Okay, so as I was saying, never give up. Just don't give up. Don't quit. Okay, then another response that we have here, classmate Tane. Yes, Sir Hernan. So that was like the peak of the Ahmed journey. Okay. So see you, sir. See you. Maybe soon. Hopefully soon. Okay. Another answer, advise future students to start early, use trustworthy sources, and make sure they understand their topic well before writing. So they should also ask help when needed, and stay patient and consistent throughout the research process. Diba? So yung student understand their topic well. This means that you have to really do a rigorous literature review. And what my professor told me to do is to read, and then read again and read again. That's how you will become expert, and that's how you will know your craft, or how you will know your research. And another answer, so begin early, pick a topic that truly interests you, and don't hesitate to ask for help. Okay, so this answer has been mentioned previously, so this is very true. And last answer here from one of the students in grade 9, some of my advice is to really find a topic all of you are interested in, and think of your topic through, because it may be too expensive or impossible to do. Then I would suggest starting early in case there are problems that can be fixed before the deadline. So this is a very nice comment or nice advice for everyone. Of course, when doing research, especially if it's experimental, it's involving, for example, animals, let's say cow or plants. Of course, you will have to have field, or you will have to have chemicals if it's making a product. Okay, so if it's expensive, then it might limit your capability of doing the research. Then if it's impossible for you to do, then really there will be no outcome for it. Okay, and last thing that you mentioned is starting early. Okay, of course, when you start early, then you have enough time to read, enough time to write, enough time to rewrite, and enough time to consult with an expert. Now, that actually ends the discussion on the experiences of high school students in doing research. I do hope that our student and our listeners were able to get at least a few points from what we have discussed. Okay, so time check. It's 1:54. So we have here, let me share my final thoughts on the topic for everyone. The experiences of high school students in doing research reminds us that learning is not always easy, but it is always meaningful. So each challenge, maybe it understanding concepts, managing time, or simply overcoming self-doubt, all of them each of them helps build resilience and critical thinking. With the right support from teachers, peers, and family, students can turn these challenges into opportunities for growth. As you move forward in your academic journey, high school students, please remember that research is not just about completing a requirement. Don't think of it as a subject. Think of it as something that you can learn from, that will help you think, question, and discover. So embrace the process, trust in your abilities, carry the lessons you've learned beyond the classroom, as was said by your schoolmate, never ever give up. Okay, at this time, let me greet the faculty members of the VSU Laboratory High School Department of Secondary Education under the Faculty of Teacher Education. I would like to greet the Dean of the Faculty of Teacher Education, Dr. Leo A. Mamolo, the Head of the Department of Secondary Education, Dr. Christy M. Desades, and the Principal of VSU Laboratory High School, Mr. Raymar C. Oria, who are tuned in right now. So I do hope that Sir Leo, Ma'am Christy, and Sir Raymar are listening, but I think Sir Raymar is on leave right now, so I hope you enjoy your leave, Sir Raymar, and that you get better really soon. We also have section heads of the VSU LHS, Ma'am Annie Famela Rodriguez, Dr. Nancy Abunda, Dr. Maria Jesusa Corazon Lambert, and greetings also to the faculty or teachers from the Communications Art Department, Ma'am Vic Nunez, Ma'am Baby Jane Eliasot, Ma'am Bel Coquilia, Ma'am Mariel Martinez, Sir Nico Apostol, and Ma'am Mildred Charis, and of course Sir Salvador Catres. So I know that most of them are actually having their break, so I hope you're enjoying and again making the best of it before class resumes in June. Another from Math and Science Department, which is my home department, we have Ma'am Shalom, Dr. Shalom Grace Vega, Ma'am Jovi Digorio, Ma'am Resel Morales, Sir Japheth Endak, Sir Joylan Abinoha, and Ma'am Marie Chris Liano. To our hardworking TLE department teachers, Ma'am Nadine, Sir Ruel, Sir Gerald, and to our teachers who are on study leave, we have Sir June, Ma'am Sherwina, and Ma'am Hilda. Also, special greetings to our support staff, Ma'am Rice at FTE, Ma'am Cherry, Sir Mark, Kuya June, Kuya Ruel, Kuya Yoyoy, Kuya Danilo, Kuya Fidel, Kuya Joshua, Kuya Renan, Kuya Raymar, along with all the employees of Visayas State University. All of you are listening, good afternoon. I wish you all the best, and I wish you a nice anniversary this coming next week. And also, before I end the program, happy birthday to all our celebrators this month. We have birthday on April 1, Sir Helmar Ikong. Sir Helmar, happy birthday. April 18, we have Dr. Marilyn Manaig. April 28, next week, the head of DSED, Ma'am Christy Desades. Happy birthday, Ma'am Christy. And April 29, we have Dr. Avelina Octinaria. Happy birthday. We wish you joy and success in the years ahead. And see you sa pakain sa FTA. Okay, so before we officially close, actually that wraps up our announcement and time check. It's 1:58 p.m. brought to you by DYDC 104.7 FM, your development campus radio. This has been Niel Cayubit. Never forget, research is a journey of growth. Each challenge you face brings you one step closer to understanding. And what I like about VSU is that really research is one way of knowing the truth here. Have a great day, everyone.